Good morning, children of God. This morning we are preparing a communion cake or wafers or unleavened bread. This year is very unique. It's different from the previous years. In the past, when we do communion service, as mentioned by Jesus, that we have to do it in remembrance of Him or in remembrance of me, as the Bible said. But this year we are doing it virtually, meaning we will be doing it online or via Zoom in an individual home. So this morning I'm going to prepare an unleavened bread just for a family of two, just for us, and other families are also preparing their bread for themselves. So we have the ingredients. I'm not going to follow the full ingredients because it will be only prepared for two. So I'm only doing half of the ingredients. The ingredients will be flour. This is 3/4. We don't need yeast. This is not a part of our unleavened bread for communion. So we're going to take this out. 3/4 cup of flour, 1/4 teaspoon of salt. Then we will mix the dry ingredients. Then the next ingredient, which is oil. Olive oil is 2 tablespoons. One, two. In the Bible, there is no direct equivalent or symbolism with flour, but flour is used in the offering sacrifices by the Israelites during the sacrificial service at the tabernacle. But oil is mentioned or symbolizes as the Holy Spirit. And water. Water was given by God to the Israelites when Moses hit the rock. So we could say that it's not a direct symbolism, it could represent God. So we have oil, the Holy Spirit, then the water, which could be a representation of God, and we need this 3 tablespoons. 1, 2, and 3. Okay, then we will mix this. We will knead this to make a dough. Okay, just keep on kneading. It's difficult to knead when it's only very little. It's better to do it full recipe. By the way, I learned this when I was young because my father is the head elders when I was young in the Philippines. So he was always assigned to do a communion bread. So I think we're ready for this. We just need more kneading or mixing. So we have only very few ingredients. We have the water, we have the flour, we have the olive oil, and the salt. We will leave the dough for now, and we will turn on the oven to bake, and we need 450 degrees. You know, when you make bread, the bread will not be cooked perfectly if it's cold or lukewarm. So we have to put them really hot, just like what Paul mentioned, that we should not be lukewarm. We should be really hot. So, or either cold or hot, but it's better to be hot. So that's how we are going to bake. Okay, so while the oven is heating, I'll be flattening the dough into the parchment paper. And of course, I already washed this a while ago. Then we will flatten this to make it the desired thickness. This one is good for several people. Okay. I'm putting this on a parchment paper so that it will not be directly on the pan, and it will minimize burnt. Okay. And actually, when we put it on the oven, we will put another parchment paper on top to prevent it from burning. Okay, so we're gonna cut this so that it will be easier to cut when it's done, when it's baked. We'll make it a little bigger, maybe 3/4 of an inch, like that. But yeah, if it's regularly bought in the church, it will be a little smaller, maybe just 1 bite size. But this is for home use, and we'll make it a little bigger. So maybe this is about 3/4 of an inch. Okay. So when it's baked, that will be your guide for breaking. And also, look appear better, maybe we could put a cross. Okay. This is only for design. Or if you want, maybe like this for a cross, so it will appear when it's baked like there. Just for design. Okay, and we are ready for our communion bread. Okay. For now, I will put another parchment of paper on top, as I've said, to prevent it from burning. There you go. Jesus said, "Do this in remembrance of me." The communion service is referring. And Jesus mentioned that during the Last Supper. And as you know, the Last Supper was Passover. And if you remember, the very first Passover was done during the Israelites' time, when they leave Egypt. Moses and the other Israelites bake a bread without yeast. So this one, as you've seen a while ago, the main ingredients is only the flour, which could represent God, but there's no actual representation in the Bible. But in this illustration, we'll just use the flour, then water, then the oil, which is the Holy Spirit, that is symbolized in the Bible, and that's make a dough. Those three, previously you could see it separately. The flour are separate in the water, but when you put them together, and that could be a good illustration for the Godhead. Jesus, the water, oil, the Holy Spirit, and the flour. But we also put salt in the mixture. So salt in the Bible said that you are the salt of the earth. Also for the family of God, because there are now the salt in it, which as the children of God. So this is now an illustration of the family of God. Now, our oven is already hot, so we are going to put now our prepared dough inside, and it will take us 7 minutes. 7. There are a lot of significant numbers in the Bible which represent 7, like 7th-day Sabbath. In Revelation, there are lots of 7. So number 7 is very significant. Okay, so I will put in a timer, 7 minutes. Okay, we're 1 minute, last 1 minute. There you go, it's done. The 7 minutes is over. We are going to remove the paper to make it more brittle, and we will leave it there for another 2 minutes, but we are going to turn it off. Make sure you use gloves because it's really hot, you know, the tin. Okay, so we'll put it there. Look at the bread, so nice with a cross design. It's really for communion service. Okay, we'll put it here and we'll cover it to cool down, and that will be ready for communion service tomorrow. Okay. So it cooled down now, and this is the bread that we have. It's very brittle, bite-sized bread for tomorrow.